Welcome everybody to another issue of European Rotors, the digital series. It is our intention to create the most value for each visitor and inform the branch about latest developments. And that counts in particular for our conference program. Here, beside our own network within EASA and EHA, we partner with renowned associations to ensure we have the highest level of quality. And one of these partners we recently have won is the Vertical Flight Society, VFS. And I'm having the pleasure to talk to them today. But as always, first have a look who's my guest today. Hi, Mike. May you shortly introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Frank. I'm so glad to be here. As Frank mentioned, I'm Mike Hirschberg. I'm the executive director of the Vertical Flight Society. I'm an aerospace engineer with 30 years in the industry, working on behalf of the government and nonprofits on manned and unmanned aircraft developments, primarily in vertical flight. I worked in the Joint Strike Fighter program office in the 1990s, and then in the 2000s, I was at DARPA, the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. And for the past 10 years, I've been the director of VFS.
Thank you, Mike. A real pleasure to have you with us today. So, almost everybody in the VTOL branch knows you and your society, but please, may you give us a short overview of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so VFS was founded in 1943 as the American Helicopter Society, just as the first American helicopters were being put into production. At the time, helicopters didn't have much payload or range or speed and were kind of laughed at by the rest of the aviation industry. Honestly, sort of like what's happened with the eVTOL electric air taxis over the past 10 years. And people working on helicopters in industry, academia, and government back then needed a community to overcome the early challenges. But, we've always been focused on more than just helicopters and more than just American. We had European members at our founding, and as new types of vertical flight aircraft were demonstrated and developed in the 1950s and 1960s in Europe and around the world, we started using the tagline AAHS, the Vertical Flight Society. So today, VFS is the oldest and largest helicopter and VTOL society in the world and the only international technical society. Our whole reason to exist is to help advance the industry with better aircraft. And we do that in many ways. We're a membership society, so anyone working on helicopters, advanced rotorcraft, drones, electric vertical takeoff and landing, or eVTOL aircraft should join VFS. We have lots of benefits for individuals, companies, government agencies, and universities. We hold conferences around the world. And of course, during the past 15 months, we've had nearly 100 webinars, sometimes several a week. In fact, we just had our, 8th or 9th short course on electric VTOL technology online. We actually have to hold that 2 or 3 times a year to meet the demand, plus short courses on other topics. And we record all of our short courses so people can watch them on demand online. So we're very pleased to partner with European Rotors. We have hundreds of members in Europe and would love to have everyone working on rotorcraft and VTOL to become members.
Many thanks for that, Mike. Wow, founded in 1943. What a heritage. And many thanks for the overview. So when we were announcing our partnership, you were close to the annual meeting. You said, Frank, we can plan everything for European Rotors, but first leave me alone. I have to do this big thing. So just a question here, how did it go?
Yeah, so it went very well. We had nearly 1,500 attendees, 230 technical paper presentations, and more than 50 VIP speakers from industry, academia, and government agencies from around the world. It was a 5-day event that many said was the best virtual event they'd ever attended. So we were very, very happy with how it went.
1,500 attendees and over 230 presentations. Simply wow. Congratulations on that. Impressive figures. But this is only the peak of activities which you're offering over the year. Some you already mentioned in your first answer. And you're doing both, right? Physical and digital.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a lot of conferences, workshops, webinars, short courses throughout the year. Obviously, they've all been virtual since last March, but beginning in August, we're planning to have them in person again. So we're partnering with the CAFE Foundation for the 15th Annual Electric Aircraft Symposium in July. Then we have a conference on vehicle management systems, or VMS, in person near Philadelphia. We have a conference on structures and survivability in October near NASA Langley in Virginia. And we're partnering with the Royal Aeronautical Society for a virtual 47th annual European Rotorcraft Forum in September, and the 9th annual Asian Australian Rotorcraft Forum in Nanjing, China in early November. We're also holding a 3-day online workshop in September on eVTOL infrastructure. But our next big event is our 9th annual Electric VTOL Symposium being held in San Jose, California, in Silicon Valley in January. That's the world's largest and longest running eVTOL event. And last year we had 600 attendees online. We hope to top that this coming January. And of course, as mentioned, we have many webinars each month. And anybody can check out all of our upcoming events at vtol.org/events.
Incredible amount of activities. Yeah, please go to vtol.org. And I can only underline and repeat Mike's invitation to join the VFS as a member. And I mean, we are really proud that you are a partner of us and you're supporting our event. So the hummingbird in your logo describes, at least for me, that the Vertical Flight Society is fascinated by the technique of swirling in the air. So are we here at European Rotors, and this fascinating technology even expands. It is our ambition actually to become also the #1 platform for eVTOLs and drones, which are of complementary use of helicopters. You stated in your first answer that helicopters received a love in their early ages and then turned not from an ugly duckling to a swan to remain in the picture of animals, but into a hummingbird, or as we call them, the bee of aviation. So, I mean, how do you follow or integrate the VTOL stuff and the eVTOL developments in the VFS?
Yeah, so, we've not only follow it very closely, but we've been leading international efforts on eVTOL for the past 8 years. So VFS was the first international association to recognize this technology, and as all the technologies and other things, external factors, were having really this confluence of capabilities, we recognized that in 2013 and started holding dedicated workshops and conferences in 2014. We started the world's first eVTOL newsletter, and now we have a comprehensive website, evtol.news, that catalogs more than 450 concepts by some 250 designers. And we calculate that nearly $10 billion, or 8.25 billion euros, have been invested in eVTOL developments just over the past 5 years. We've been bringing together the community and industry, academia, and government around the world to solve the critical challenges in eVTOL. There's 1,000 reasons why eVTOL aircraft won't succeed, so we're leading efforts to try to address all of them. Electric VTOL holds the promise to overcome some of the limiting factors with helicopters. We expect that they'll be much, much quieter, overcoming the challenge of noise in urban operations, and hope that they'll be cheaper, greener, and safer than today's helicopters. All electric VTOL aircraft have the potential to eliminate emissions, at least tailpipe emissions, and help contribute to a sustainable aviation future.
Thanks for this overview, especially on the money invested. I mean, that shows us it's serious business going on. Let us now talk a bit more about our partnership. First, may you tell us why you're teaming up with European Rotors and what do you expect from us, the partnership, and the first live show, which is going to be held from the 16th to the 18th November in Cologne?
So we're really, really pleased to be part of European Rotors. It's a great chance to reconnect again after having been shut down for 1.5 years. There's a lot of activity that's been going on, particularly in Europe. So we're the world's Vertical Flight Society, and we want to provide more support in Europe. We already have a lot of members of the leading companies, universities, and government agencies, but we want to do more to provide educational, safety, and technical benefits across the continent and around the world. So hopefully everyone listening to this and attending European Rotors will join VFS and take advantage of what we have to offer. VFS members are working on advancing the capabilities of rotorcraft and VTOL aircraft of today and tomorrow. We're very excited to be part of European Rotors and hope to educate our members and all the attendees on the important safety and regulatory issues.
Well received, and we will do our best to meet your expectations, especially with regard to safety. EASA is on board with us. And you know, one of our unique selling point is that this is an event by the community, for the industry, and for the branch. So it's done by EHA and EASA. So I think we are best here to meet your expectations. So finally, of course, we are a little bit curious what is in the pocket of Vertical Flight Society to be prepared, and what we may be able to digest when the show is on.
Yeah, so we're planning to include talks by leaders in industry and government covering some of the latest advancements from around the world. That includes tilt rotors and advanced compounds that are under development through Clean Sky in Europe and future vertical lift programs in the US, as well as electric VTOL and key technologies that have safety and operational benefits, such as fly-by-wire, sustainability, noise reduction, synthetic aviation fuel, and other environmental improvements. We're planning both live presentations as well as virtual talks, and hope to make it as informative and insightful as possible.
That sounds terrific. And it fits actually to our new concept where we augment the live show with our new digital event platform. So we have more people being able to digest what we have on and to connect with each other like you are doing. So it is a pleasure to have you with us. It was my pleasure to have the interview with you today. Can't wait to meet you physically then in November, but I have a special hope that we have a chance to see each other in a beer garden in Munich over summer, Mike, as we mentioned over the preparation. Thank you so much for that. Enjoy the days. Keep well, keep safe. You are vaccinated like me, so that looks good, looks promising. Thank you for that, Mike. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Bye-bye.